Welcome back to the channel. I have some breaking news for you. Donald Trump's executive order on birthright citizenship has been put on temporary hold until February 6th, according to a federal judge who just ruled on this case this afternoon. Of course, several states, last I heard, there was over 18 states and several cities were joining in to challenge this particular ruling on different grounds and everything. But let's go through this ruling through an article from the AP. As you see here, federal judge temporarily blocks Trump's executive order redefining birthright citizenship. Let's go through and read through this, and we'll see what all it has to say. A federal judge on Thursday temporarily blocked President Trump's executive order denying U.S. citizenship to children of parents living in the country illegally, calling it blatantly unconstitutional during the first hearing in a multi-state effort to challenge the order. Of course, the 14th Amendment says that birthright citizenship is legal. It was it was ratified in 1868, so there could be citizenship for former slaves after the Civil War. Of course, it says, but in an effort to curb unlawful immigration, Trump issued the executive order after being sworn in for his second term on Monday. His order would deny citizenship to those born after February 19th whose parents are in the country illegally. It also forbids U.S. agencies from issuing any document or accepting any state document recognizing citizenship to such children. Which right there, that kind of is a bit of a states' rights issue if you ask me, because the state should be allowed to deal with some immigration stuff on their own and on who they help and who they don't help in such situations like that. It says here, Trump's order drew immediate legal challenges from across the country, with at least 5 lawsuits being brought by 22 states and a number of immigration rights groups. A lawsuit brought by Washington, Arizona, Oregon, Illinois was the first to be heard today. So expect several more of these cases to be brought in the different district federal courts and appeals courts across the country. From the judge, I've been on the bench for over 4 decades. I can't remember another case where the question presented was such as clear as this one. U.S. District Judge John Cognauer told the Justice Department attorney, "This is blatantly an unconstitutional order." Thursday's decision prevents the Trump administration from taking steps to implement the executive order for at least 14 days. In the meantime, parties will submit further arguments about the merits of Trump's order. The judge also says COORG scheduled the hearing for February 6th to decide whether to block it long term as the case proceeds. He's a Reagan appointee who was nominated to the bench in 1981. It says he grilled DOJ attorney Brett Shumate, asking whether Shumate believed the order was constitutional. Judge continued saying, "I have difficulty understanding how a member of the bar could state unequivocally that this is a constitutional order," he added. Shumate assured the judge that he did absolutely believe that it was a constitutional order. He said the arguments the Trump administration is making now have never previously been litigated, and that there is no reason to issue a 14-day temporary restraining order when it could expire before the executive order takes effect. The article goes on to say the Department of Justice later said in a statement it will vigorously defend the president's executive order, which it said correctly interprets the 14th Amendment of the Constitution. It says the DOJ attorneys, "We look forward to presenting full merits of the argument to the court and to the American people who are desperate to see the nation's laws enforced. This has nothing to do with enforcing our laws." Trump's order asserts that children of non-citizens are not subject to the jurisdiction of the United States and therefore not entitled to citizenship. Arguing for the states on Thursday, Washington Assistant Attorney General Lane Palazza said it was absurd, noting that neither those who have immigrated illegally nor their children are immune from U.S. law. Therefore, they should be allowed to be U.S. citizens. Sorry about that. Are they not subject to the decisions of the immigration courts? Must they not follow the law while they are here? The executive order will impact hundreds of thousands of citizens nationwide who will be losing their citizenship under this new rule. Births cannot be paused while the court considers this case. Washington Attorney General Nick Brown told reporters afterwards that he was not surprised that the judge had little patience with the Justice Department position, considering that the citizenship clause arose from one of the darkest chapters of American law. The Supreme Court's 1857 Dred Scott decision, which held that African Americans, whether enslaved or free, were not entitled to citizenship. And then the Supreme Court, of course, or not the Supreme Court, but they codified it into law that it was by putting it as an amendment in the Constitution. 14th Amendment, Section 1, to be exact. Now, if you ask me, it's very clear that this is unconstitutional. It violates the Constitution. It's right there in clear black and white in the Constitution. The problem is people like Donald Trump don't read this. People on the far right don't read the Constitution. They don't support the Constitution. That's the reason he signed a blatantly, as the judge put it, a blatantly unconstitutional executive order. Now, a lot of presidents have had problems with executive orders being deemed unconstitutional. Barack Obama had a few. George Bush, Bill Clinton. But Trump just seems to blatantly go after it, right? Like with George W. Bush and Barack Obama, they were things that were either gray areas or things that people weren't sure. And in the end, the courts decided in their favor in most cases. In some cases, they didn't, like in Joe Biden's case with some of the actions he tried to take on student loans. Some of those didn't get to take effect. But at the end of the day, I guess we'll see what the courts have to say. What the court has to say on February 6th on if there will be a longer injunction while the case proceeds, which I hope is how the judge will rule. I don't see how they could make an argument to support this unless they're literally trying to go back and support the Dred Scott case, which was absolutely a disgusting ruling in the first place. After we brought all these people here, forced them to be here against their will, the Supreme Court had ruled that they weren't entitled to be citizens since they were free. That just seems wrong, and just that itself was wrong. And that's the interpretation they're trying to use to ban birthright citizenship now. So, that said, watch this space. I'll bring more information to you when I can. And anyways, I hope you all are having a great day. All I can say is stay hopeful out there. If you know undocumented workers, no you don't.